Your shoe buying experience in the 18th century is much like your shoe buying experience today. You could come in and state your size, you fit you from stock. Much like today, there are tools to help you. This is a size stick, kind of similar to the modern branding device. If you're unfamiliar, we could certainly measure your foot with that. While we would make the common sizes, unusual sizes we would make to measure. People often ask us, are we cobblers? And we are shoemakers. We will make the shoe, and then the cobbler will fix. And there's actually an old saying, shoemakers work with new leather, cobblers work with old. As history goes on, you might be a shoemaker. In the 19th century, you have to do making and mending, whereas here in the capital city, you probably could make a pretty good living just making brand new shoes, and then maybe you might visit the tavern, the market house, you might see a cobbler set up there, and that individual will do the repairing for you. Shoemaking has 4 basic steps. There is a clicker who will cut the parts out, and then a closer will sew the top of the shoe. A maker's job is to take the parts and build the shoe, and then a 4th step, there's a ragger off that does the cleaning and finishing of the shoe. The clicker, sometimes you're the face of the shop. You'd be interacting with customers, yelling at them to come in and buy shoes, in addition to doing the cutting. This isn't all. We do use it for sewing, but you can also use it to scratch the pattern out. Sometimes you can cut it by eye, but shops will have cardboard patterns which are laying down on the leather. The closing is the 2nd step. The work's going to be strapped to your leg. And since it's called closing, you have a closing block that's going to go against your knee to protect your knee from getting stabbed. The leather goes on top, the strap holds it to your body, and this is at a good angle so you can sew without sticking yourself. This is called a hand leather. You will wear this on your left hand to wrap the left cord to pull. And your awl haft has a knob to wrap the right cord so you can pull very tightly without cutting yourself, getting that good, really tight water-resistant stitch. And the thread is coated with pitch and rosin. It makes it very sticky, so once you pull it tight, it will stay tight. You, as the maker, you'll take this bundle of parts. Between this bundle and the scrap basket, you'll have enough leather to make a pair of shoes, and you'll spend your day building the shoe around the last. And this is the tool that's going to give us the size and style when we build. And this is what you're going to tell us, generally your last size, when you come in and buy the shoe. And there's a fair chance we'll have that already made. And the final step is the ragger off. After the shoe is done, they will do the final detail work to get the shoe ready for sale. And black is a popular color because it's easy to get the leather black, it's easy to maintain, so it'll have compounds such as this. This is copied from a period recipe. It is tallow, beeswax, and bone black ball. You'll be applying that to the upper, then with rags and brushes, you'll be burnishing it to get that final finish. This is a shoulder stick. We will use that for burnishing the edge, then hitting it with writing ink, and then the shoe will be ready to be sold. And then you as a customer, you can either make or buy this to maintain your look. So this is something we will do, but this is something you might do after you get your shoes just to keep the look up. We're basing much of what we make on original examples, and even with the best care, that example will not last forever. So we will study our collections here and elsewhere and draw them out so there'll be a written record for an item that, unfortunately, with the best of care, eventually may not survive. And our job today is we make and do mending of footwear for our colleagues. So our job here in the museum is doing our part to maintain that look when you come to visit. There are brand name shoes you can buy 250 years ago. There are brand name shoes people wish to buy today. So styles are changing and getting updated. And you have that variety of shoes like we do today for dancing, dress, every day, and everyone needs them. And all the places to buy shoes that we have available, an individual has in the 1770s in Virginia. You could have bought local shoes, cheaper English made that are being brought in. There's a market for used and rebuilt shoes. Your church tax goes to giving poor people shoes. Enslaved are getting 1 or 2 pairs of shoes a year by custom from the slaveholder. So it's much like where we are from today. Everybody will have shoes on their feet, but there are lots of different places where you're getting them from. What I found rewarding about this is we're making something that actually is going to get used. So it's not going to get put on a shelf and then fall apart with dry rot in a couple of years. You might have someone who thinks they're 18th century shoes that cannot possibly be comfortable. But if you make it as they made it with the same techniques and same materials, it's a very comfortable shoe to wear on your foot. And sometimes changing someone's mind on that can be very, very rewarding.